2023 is on the way out and 2024 is on the way in. And boy, do I have big plans. Welcome back, Book Dragons. I am so glad you're here. I have been excited about making this video for a while. I've been planning and putting it all together and trying to decide what I want to talk about, and I finally got everything nailed down, and I can't wait to share with you what I've got planned for 2024. But before we talk about that, if you are enjoying this video, like the video. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, make sure you do that as well. You can click my link tree in the description below or with this handy little code up here so that you can get access to all the different places that you can find me online. And now that that is done, we get to talk about 2024. And let me tell you guys, I've got a lot of plans. So I'm going to break the video up into several different categories, and I'm going to have timestamps for each one so that you know where to go if you want to skip something. I'd prefer that you watch the whole video, but if you're not able to watch the whole video, timestamps are there. You can skip ahead or back or rewatch the same segment over and over again if you're really enjoying it. So let's go ahead and get to it. As always, I've got to put on my eyes so that I don't miss anything right. And I've got my little notes here on my phone. We're going to just have a blast. I'm going to start off talking about life and balance. This is hugely important to me. I want to make sure that I don't get burned out and not want to make content anymore. And so I want to make a few changes that will help me stay in the game and keep enjoying what I'm doing here on BookTube. And I already enjoy it, so I haven't gotten burned out, don't worry. And I'm not going anywhere. I'm not stopping making content. I'm not significantly reducing my content, but I am going to make some tweaks that will help me stay in the game, okay? And we're going to talk about some stuff that I've got going on just in life in general. And then we'll move on to other topics, all right? And so the first thing I want to talk about is that I am going to limit myself to 4 books a month in 2024. Now that doesn't mean that I'm not going to read more books than that if there's time during the month and I've just, I've just got all this time left over because I've read all my books for the month. I'm still going to possibly read more. I'm going to leave myself room for electives, but I'm only going to plan to read 4 books a month. And that's because, as I said, I want to give myself some wiggle room for balance and rest and things like that, and to do other things that I want to do, like watching movies and playing video games and board games and, just exploring a wide variety of the things that I really love to do. And one of those things does include writing. And we'll talk about writing here in a couple of minutes, okay? So don't go anywhere. Writing is coming up. But I also want to let you know that I'm going to be working on different topical videos for my channel. Book reviews are not going away by any means, and I'll probably keep doing some tags. But I want to think about some engaging topical videos that might really draw people in and start fostering discussions about different things. And if there's any topics that you would like to see me talk about and cover, that would be awesome. Let me know that in the comments below, okay? So as I promised, I am going to talk about writing now. One of the things I'm going to be doing in 2024 is doing the final prep work on the Nomad's Crucible. You guys have heard me talk about it several times, that it's coming out soon, and I do want to let you know, if everything goes according to plan, I have a tentative release date for the Nomad's Crucible of October 1st, 2024. That's right, it's going to be out just before the holidays. I'm really excited about it. I've got some final edits that need to be made, and kind of reorganize it and make sure it's formatted correctly and all that good stuff. I need to figure out what I'm doing about ARCs or advanced reader copies if I want to send some of those out. And my cover is almost done. I've been working alongside my cover artist to get it just how I want it. And so the cover is almost done. And one of my wonderful beta readers, Tony from An Erudite Adventure, I have given him the opportunity to do the cover reveal for my new book on his channel. So that will be coming up in the future. Not real soon, but it will be coming. And yes, I'll release the cover on my channel as well, but not until he's done his. I've talked about that with him, and we are planning to have that cover reveal at some time in the future. And then I am planning to do more writing in 2024. And that's another reason I'm trying to balance things out a little bit more, because I want to have time for writing. So the reduction of my books to read during the month and some of these other changes, that's going to help me get more writing time, because I do want to release more books. And one thing I'm planning on doing for the first time ever is I am hoping to participate in NaNoWriMo next year. So yes, November 2024, my goal is to do NaNoWriMo and crank out a new book, or at least the majority of a new book. I know the typical goal for NaNoWriMo is 50,000 words. It may get there, it may not, it may surpass that, we'll see. But I'm very excited to give it a try and see if that's something I enjoy doing. I don't know, because, I'm not too sure I like being tied down like that, but I think it's worth a shot. Let me know in the comments if you agree, if you're excited for me to try out NaNoWriMo. And so in the month of November, I may or may not do any reading. We'll see. I'm going to really try and laser focus on writing my book in the month of November, but I'll probably get a little bit of reading done. So stay tuned for more information on that as it gets closer to November. And something I've been toying with for a while is doing a channel devoted to movie and TV show reviews. I may try out 1 or 2 videos for a channel like that this next year. I don't know for sure. It's just an idea I'm toying with. It's low priority because I've got a lot of other things that are more important, but if I get a chance and some extra time, I might make a couple of movie or TV show reviews, throw them up on a new channel, let you guys know about it. If that's something you're interested in, let me know in the comments. That would be awesome. So we're going to move away from life and balance, and we're going to talk about channel projects. And the first project that I'm going to tell you about, and I'm so excited about it, guys. I can't wait. This is a project that I came up with to help me read more of the physical books on my shelf that I own. And you've seen me do videos about speed dating my unread physical books and things like that. That has helped, but this is really going to jumpstart it. And I am very excited to introduce you guys to the Stein of Power. As you can see, I bought this nice little Stein. It's got what looks to be the Eye of Sauron on there. It's got some dragons on there. This is just beautiful. And what I've done is I've got the names of all my unread physical books cut up onto little pieces of paper and tossed in here. So it's kind of going to be like a TBR jar of sorts. And every month, during my monthly update, I'm going to draw a name out of the Stein of Power. And that is a book that I will have to read for that particular month. So I'm super excited about this. I think it's really going to help me get a handle on my physical books. And there is a caveat with that, of course. If I end up not enjoying the book and I DNF it, I will then have to draw another name out of the Stein of Power, and I will make a community post letting everybody know, hey, I DNF'd this other book, so I picked a new one, and here's the name of the book that I picked out of the jar now to read this month. So I do have the option of DNFing the book that I pick out of the jar, and it's, but it keeps me consistent so that if I DNF one, I have to pick another one because I do have to read one book out of that Stein of Power. So I'm super excited about this. I hope you guys are too. And I think this is just really cool. This is just cool looking. So it makes me proud to showcase it on my channel every month and draw a name out of the hat. Once I have read all of my physical books that are on my shelves, I will probably open the Stein of Power up to ebooks as well. But right now, I'm just using it for physical books. Okay? Another thing I want to explore doing is a Dan Brown read-along. You guys may have heard me talk about Dan Brown being one of my favorite authors. I have read all of the Robert Langdon books, like The Da Vinci Code and Angels and Demons and stuff. I have not read his earlier books like Digital Fortress and, I can't remember the other one. But anyway, I am going to start a Dan Brown read-along if that is something that people are interested in. I will be doing a poll at some point closer to the new year to see if there's anybody that has an interest in participating in that with me. If there's not a lot of interest, I probably won't do it, but it is something I'm exploring, okay? I'm also going to be doing Mystery March. So in the month of March, I'm only going to read mysteries. And I think that's going to be super cool. I'm going to read some Agatha Christie. I'm going to read some other mysteries that I've had on my list for a while, like the Magpie Murders and Beyond a Reasonable Doubt and different things like that. And I'm hoping to reread the Sherlock Holmes stories and read that with my daughter. So that is probably going to be something that we're going to try and crank out in the month of March. And I know there's a lot of Sherlock Holmes stories, so we may not get through all of them in March, but we're going to read several at least, and I think that'll be really fun. And then I want to try and read some more nonfiction, and I don't really have interest in a lot of nonfiction, but there's a few that I do that I'm really looking forward to reading, one of which is a book called Effortless Living by Jason Gregory. It's a book on Taoism, specifically the Taoist philosophy of Wu Wei, which more or less can be translated into flow or the flow state. So, just kind of living your life in that state of flow. And I'm really excited to read that one. So let's move on from my channel projects and let's talk about books that I'm going to read in 2024 and series that I'm going to finish, okay? And we're going to start with The Great Cities Duology by N.K. Jemisin. I read The City We Became this year and I really enjoyed it. And I want to read The World We Make next year and finish out that duology and see what I think of it. So that's definitely on the list. I want to finish the Dune saga. I've read the first 2 books, of course, Dune and Dune Messiah. I have not read the remaining 4 books in Frank Herbert's original 6-book saga. So I'm really hoping to get to that and finish that. I do own Children of Dune physically, and so that is in the Stein of Power. Hopefully that's going to come up this year, but I may decide, I'm just going to read it anyway, even if it doesn't come up in the Stein of Power. So that's the last one that I own physically, and then I own the others on ebook. But I'm really excited to finish the Dune saga. And then I want to finish the Hyperion Cantos. I read Hyperion and Fall of Hyperion. I need to read Endymion and Rise of Endymion. So that's going to be one of my goals in 2024, is to finish out the Hyperion Cantos. And I can't wait, guys. I love the first 2 books, and I'm so excited to see what happens with Endymion. And then I also want to finish the Shades of Magic trilogy, the original one. I already read A Darker Shade of Magic, and I want to read the final 2 books in the trilogy. And who knows, I may even continue on and read the Fragile Threads of Power. But I at least want to complete the original Shades of Magic trilogy and see where it goes from there, okay? I also want to read Tigana by Guy Gavriel Kay. He's got a lot of books, and I could say, oh yeah, I'm just going to read a bunch of Guy Gavriel Kay this year, but I'm not going to. I'm going to stay with one and see what I think of Guy Gavriel Kay and what I think of his writing. And if I like Tigana, I may eventually move forward and read some of his other books, maybe even in 2024, but at the very least, I want to read Tigana in 2024. I also want to read Empire of the Damned. This is book 2 in the Empire of the Vampire trilogy, or at least I think that's what it's called. I'm not exactly sure. But I'm so excited to read the second book. I love the first book, and the second book comes out on March 12th. I'm so excited, guys. I'm hoping to pick it up. I won't be reading it in March because it's Mystery March. So, yeah, no vampire books in Mystery March. But eventually I am going to read that second book. I'm really excited to do so. I'm going to read the Tawny Man trilogy by Robin Hobb. This is the third set of books in the realm of the Elderlings, and I've heard so many good things about the Tawny Man trilogy. I'm going to be buddy reading that with Danielle over at Bookara, and we're both super excited after reading the Live Ship Traders to move on and tackle this next trilogy. So that's going to be a priority goal in 2024. I also really want to get back to Shannara, but I'm not going to push myself too hard to read a bunch of Shannara books. I'm just going to say that I'm going to read the High Druid of Shannara trilogy. And we'll see where it goes. If I want to read more Shannara after that, I can. But I at least want to read that trilogy and see where it goes. I've just been really wanting to get back to Shannara. Another book that I'm really excited about in 2024 is Book 5 in the Stormlight Archive. Yes, that's right, guys. We are getting Book 5 in 2024. And he gave an official announcement at Dragonsteel. I wasn't at Dragonsteel, but I saw the announcement. He is releasing it on December 7th to Dragonsteel attendees, and then it officially releases to the mass public at midnight on December 8th. So I'm so excited to read that book, and I will most likely read it as soon as it comes out because I want to get a head start on it, and I know it's going to be a chunky book, guys. It's going to be over 1,000 pages, I'm sure, but I can't wait to see what happens. After Rhythm of War, I was just like, oh man, okay, I need to know how this story ends. And this is the end of the first arc of the Stormlight Archive. And then I think we're going to have like a 10-year time gap between arc 1 and 2. So super excited about that. And I'm also going to maybe read The Olympian Affair, which is book 2 in the Cinder Spires series by Jim Butcher. But, we'll kind of wait and see. It is a book I want to read, but I don't feel like it's a super high priority. I enjoyed The Aeronaut's Windlass, but I like the Dresden Files more. And guys, if we get a new Dresden book in 2024, I don't know if we will, but I kind of have a gut feeling that we might. If there's a new Dresden book in 2024, all bets are off, guys. I'll be reading that book. So I'm really excited about that. So let's move on from what I'm going to be reading and finishing in 2024 to some books that I want to start and some series that I want to continue. And the first on this list is the Elric Saga. I want to read the first omnibus edition of the Elric Saga and see whether I like Elric or not. I've heard so many good things, and it's been on my list to read for a while. Of course, that is in my Stein of Power, so it may not come up, and even if it doesn't, I may go ahead and pick it up anyway. But, I'm kind of letting the Stein of Power rule, but if I get an itch to read Elric anyway, I may just go ahead and pick it up. I also want to continue The Expanse by James S.A. Corey. I've read the first 3 books and I want to continue on in the series. I may even finish it in 2024. We'll just have to see on that. I also want to continue reading Percy Jackson and get that finished. And those are really easy, quick reads. So you never know. I might finish it in 2024. Probably not. But it's definitely a book series that I want to continue on with and finally finish. And then I also want to continue on with Mistborn Era 2. I really love the Alloy of Law, and I really want to finish the Cosmere. So even though I said I'm only continuing Mistborn Era 2, there's a chance that I might actually finish the series. But I'm not committing to it. I'm just going to say I'm continuing it, and we'll see if I finish it or not. So I guess this category, they're all kind of maybes, but I do want to do it. And I think that I also might start the Sun Eater saga by Christopher Rocchio. I've heard nothing but good things. I want to give the first book a shot, which is Empire of Silence, and see what I think of it. So, yeah. Editing Chaz here, featuring my special ability, concert voice. Anyway, one thing I'm going to be continuing in 2024 is the mystery novels of Agatha Christie. It's a buddy read with my friend Mona Lisa over at Mona Lisa Reads. So please make sure that you check out her channel if you have not already. And yeah, we will be continuing that in 2024. We won't be finishing it because there's like 60 books in her catalog or more. So yes. So anyway, that's it from editing Chaz. Let's get back to filming Chaz, and I'll chastise him later. That is it, guys. I've kept your ear for way too long. Let me know in the comments below what you think about my plans for 2024. I am a mood reader, so even with these plans, it's not always necessarily set in stone, but these are my loose goals for what I want to accomplish, and we'll see where we go. Yeah, let me know in the comments below what you think. What are some of your plans for 2024? I'd love it if you share that with me. And I would especially really like your feedback on some of the things I shared earlier in the video about things like the Dan Brown read-along, or my thoughts about starting a movie channel, and my plans to do NaNoWriMo and things like that. And are you excited for my new book? You know, things like that I would love to know your thoughts on, but let me know your thoughts about anything I shared today. And until next time, guys, I hope you have an amazing, amazing day and an amazing life. Keep reading more books. I'll talk with you soon.